Hello friends, lots of information for you. Gonna try and not make this too long. We'll see how that goes. Wow, wow, wow. 2020. Am I right? Crazy times. Quite a year. I'm an overthinker. Love to think about things. Recently, I have been thinking about the people that I have been lucky enough to know in my life, and one of those people was my grandpa. He was an exceptional man. And one of the things that I remember the most about him is that he loved stories. There was a couple of days, when I was younger. My parents went away, my grandpa came to look after me and my brother. I had the misfortune, or the fortune, of getting horribly ill, had to stay home with grandpa. And I just remember him making me a big old cup of tea and sitting in the lounge of our tiny log cabin in the middle of nowhere, South Africa, and reading to me for hours. I have always loved reading and writing and stories. I think because I realize that they are not just a means of escape from the world and all of the stuff that's going on, but they're also a means of bringing magic into our world, into the here and now, of finding it in the mundanity, in the lounge of a tiny log cabin in the middle of nowhere, South Africa. So I am very lucky to know a number of very sweet children here in Los Angeles, and I've been thinking about them recently too, and about the books that I really enjoyed when I was growing up. And the one book that popped to mind, you may have heard of it, it's a little classic called The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Really good book. For anyone who's not familiar, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe is a story about 4 children who are trapped inside. Can't relate. Admittedly, they're trapped inside for a day because it's raining outside, but the book is set in England in World War II, and so the outside world of these children is a very scary, uncertain, overwhelming place. And while they are trapped inside, one fateful day, they stumble upon an escape into a world full of magic and adventure and hope. And it got me thinking, wouldn't it be cool if, while we are stuck inside, and the outside world is quite a scary, uncertain, little bit of an overwhelming place, wouldn't it be cool if we had an escape into a magical world full of adventure and hope? So, reached out to the C.S. Lewis Company. They responded. What? And they have very generously given me permission to do a live reading of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe next week. Very excited about it. Don't know if you can tell. I feel I'm hiding it pretty well. We're going to break it up into a couple of different days because sitting through an entire book in one go is kind of hectic for anyone, regardless of age. So we're going to do a couple of chapters a day for 4 days. I'm going to stream it live on YouTube. I'm going to figure out how to do that. I will put all of the details in the description so that you guys can find those easily, but in a nutshell, next week, Tuesday to Friday, like 11:30 to noon-ish for California time, evening-ish for South Africa and England time. So, if you know any children, or if you have any children who you think would enjoy a little story time, or, you know, parents who would enjoy a little break, let them know. I will say that one of my favorite things about this book is that while it is a story about children, it's not just a children's story. So even if you don't have children, you know, if you just feel like you need a little bit of magic in your day, maybe a little escape, or you know someone who needs a little magic in their day, come on in. Sit upon my virtual carpet and I will read to you, my children, be you 5 or 55. Yeah, I should give the disclaimer that I have done a little bit of voiceover work, but I am by no means a voiceover expert, and I am not a professional audiobook narrator person. There are people who have trained extensively in audiobookery, and they have no doubt created a masterpiece of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in audiobook form. So if you are looking for a professional, I will put a link below to the audiobook, and you should definitely check that out. However, if you just want, 20 to 30 minutes of your friendly neighborhood Amy reading you a story, that's what it's gonna be. So you just come on in. Yeah, huge thanks to the C.S. Lewis Company. It is very, very generous of them to let me do this. I am very excited for Tuesday. But in the meantime, happy Good Friday, happy Easter for this weekend. Easter is my favorite weekend of the year. And I think it's pretty apt that this year it's falling in the middle of a pandemic, because for me at least, Easter has always been a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. So here's to a weekend full of hope, and I will see you Tuesday. You will see me Tuesday. Whatever, you know what I mean. Bye!